Hello everybody and welcome to Annexation Plays Hearts of Iron 4 as Germany, where we're going to show some power of the Panzers. Tank brigades are really strong and I think I'm doing quite a good job with them already here in the Spanish Civil War. It's really difficult, mainly because, well, their piercing of my armor is really difficult for them, which literally means I'll take less damage. Now this is gonna take a while because these are really difficult places to fight at. But we're doing well. It's beautiful music, isn't it? Doobie doobie dee. Ha ha ha. Let's go attack here as well. Let's see if we can reinforce a little bit. I mean, we are having a lot of troubles with the terrain. That's mainly the problem. But we are winning. And there you go. Those divisions are gone as well. So we're just gonna move here and we're gonna wait a little bit until some more of our organization is regained. In the meantime, let's take a look over here. And we have already produced 8 infantry divisions. That's really good. Can we send another panzer to Spain? No, our limit is still 2. So that's unfortunate. But it was a good try anyway. And we are also losing some of our panzers, of course, during the fighting. And that's why I kept this light tank at least in production. We gained some extra production efficiency cap, which is always nice. And it's time to go for concentrated industry and dispersed. Even though we're not building much fighters, I still like concentrated industries better. I think the raw output is still better. Alright, let's start pushing a little bit again. Let's see if we can make a surround like this. Maybe go to Madrid. Or we can maybe surround this guy. Let's see what we can do with that. Keep him busy. Let's go and do some damage to people. This is a really dangerous tactic what I'm doing, because if I'm cut off over here, then I might be cut off from my supply lines as well. And you don't want that ever. Some Soviet units actually helping. We can push through here. And then go to Valencia. And maybe we can cut off these Soviet troops actually. So we make the pocket out of this as well. So at least we will have a good supply for quite a while. And the Spanish people are helping here as well, of course. So we're doing quite a lot of good effort over here with just moving fast with our tanks. Let's make the line a little bit thicker, just to make sure that we won't lose supply so fast. And then let's help with a little bit of extra tank power. Let them regain some of the organization and then just push them in. And they clearly have some trouble with their supplies, which is good for us. Regain some organization here. And this guy should be out of supply. That's really bad for him. Good for us though. Quickly move here because this guy is trying to reinforce that position. You can see the Spanish themselves moving in, taking advantage of this tactic that I'm doing as well. Normally this block would have been cut off, but because we made a nice line over here, that's not the case anymore. And they're trying to go for a block, a cutoff and encirclement themselves as well. Now let's attack from 2 sides against this poor supply guy. And there's a nice cut-off possibility here as well. But all in all, our position looks really strong. And it's mainly because we had fast-moving divisions, like the Panzers. Now, of course, the speed will be modified a little bit on a lot of things. Like right now, we're suffering from quite a lot of penalties because, well, we are in combat as well, and in forest and poor infrastructure. But there it is. We've won the Spanish Civil War, and I think our help was really valuable in that. And because of that, world tension skyrocketed, of course. But yeah, we did a good job. With the surrender of the last Republican strongholds, the Spanish Civil War has come to an end. The nationalist stands victorious and a new era has begun for Spain. The war-torn country has suffered greatly in the fighting and there is much rebuilding to be done. But we at least have ensured that we have a fascist nation over here in Spain. Excellent. We've finished our west wall focus. Let's go with the industrial effort, because we can't do Anschluss yet. And that's pretty much how I will go about the focuses right now. Can I do Anschluss? No. Then let's do more building up our economy and our research slots until we can do it. Now this is still quite a bit ahead, but I'm gonna go for it anyway because it's 10% extra bonus is quite a lot, and the 200 days is not that much extra time. And the volunteers that have been fighting have gone home. I'm going to just keep them like that. Almost we have enough political power, which is now, to reinstate something new. And we're going to go for a political advisor and going to be a captain of industry, because we are building quite a lot of refineries and I would like some extra speed on that. Another option would have been to go for an industrial concern, mainly for industrial tech time, because we go and do that quite a lot. But I don't think that's necessary yet. Another guy that I would really like is a chief of the army, who's going to be an army drill, which will reduce our division training time. But then again, we still are mainly having a shortage of material and not necessarily training time. Another thing that I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start training some cavalry. Now these guys will be my garrison force and they will protect us from invasions and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm gonna make them the high priority, and I'm gonna set this guy as high priority as well for receiving materials. I think they need it more than my troops at the moment. And we can see that if everybody that we now have in training queue is being sent into the field, then we have more than 550 manpower in use. Be careful that it is the people who are on training are being counted among them as well. So it doesn't mean we already have more than 550k manpower in divisions on the field. Can be a little bit deceiving. But we are producing about 100 infantry equipment per day. So yeah, we're strong on infantry equipment at least. Suffering a little bit of light tank shortage. And well, we don't necessarily have to build these anymore either. I think I'm just gonna remove the light tanks completely from the production line. Even though they are in a shortage at the moment, we're not gonna use the light tanks anymore anyway. So that's absolutely fine. I'd rather be producing more infantry equipment instead. We finished our first industrial effort, gained a couple of civilian factories, and we get a construction technology research bonus. That's nice. Still not enough for Anschluss, therefore industrial effort. And it's quite normal that you don't have enough for Anschluss yet. I believe historically it was somewhere in beginning of 38. So historically we're still far ahead of time if we would have done it right now. Which is absolutely fine. We will keep the missing equipment production right here, but we're just gonna right click that because we don't care about it. The first doctrine level is done. Let's go for the next one, elastic defense. We have a small discount on it right now. There are a couple of focuses that will give us more discounts on land doctrine tech, but we don't need to have them right now. There are enough doctrines left that we will definitely get an advantage of them sooner rather than later. So I'm not putting these guys into a group yet. Once there are 24 of them, I will send them over here in Ostpreußen and make them an army group themselves. We have to be careful with the supply over here in this area though, because the supply is limited by the naval bases over here. So we need to be careful that we don't go over it, and we probably will go over it sometime somewhere. Just easily remedied by building a couple of naval bases. Now the next one that I'm going to do is the industrial concern. I would like getting reduction on my industrial research time. It's pretty much something that I prioritize all the time, and I want to have it faster. So now we've finished this part of the tree, and we still can't do Anschluss. But as something I want to work to is the extra research slot. There are two ways that we can get to it. We can go with air innovations with strategic effort, or a tactical air effort, and then into air innovations 2, into rocketry, into research slot. But another option is army innovations, treaty with the USSR, air innovations 2, rocketry, research slot. And I like that better because we are focusing on our army anyway, so we might as well. Let's start with air innovations with army innovations, which gives us extra army experience point, doctrine, land doctrine research speed, and a new army officer will be available for hire. So we almost have 24 guys over here. We just need one more, and there's one done right now. Gonna put them in an army group. I'm gonna add them at the front line, give them a commander. Let's see, we want a general who is good, but not a panzer leader. So let's see if we can get somebody with skill 5. It doesn't exist, unfortunately. There are a lot of guys with some panzer leader anyway. What is this? Out of supply. Well, that sounds something that can be useful, especially in an area where I might think we have some problems with supply. So let's go with him. They will bring themselves right over here and just add them to the Polish front. So the rest of the guys that are coming now, I probably will add first to the French front. Front line over here. And they're gonna get a field marshal. But they don't need a really skillful field marshal. So I'm just gonna promote this general with no skills and make him a field marshal and go over there. Then I'm gonna add these guys automatically to that army. Done. We finished the concentrated industry. You might as well go directly for concentrated industry number 2. Because we have a little bit of a tech bonus on it, and it's not ahead of time anymore because we are in 37. Mechanical computing is done as well, and computing machine is still too far ahead of time. But instead we can go for construction 2 because we have a research bonus on that as well, which will give us it quite fast. You can see the production of all the material are running quite rapidly. Infantry equipment is pretty much 2 full lines assigned to it, which is almost enough to provide all the men with weapons that we need to give. Some artillery, of course, is also needed, and maybe we need a little bit more factories on there producing the artillery. But then the improved machining tools also helps a lot with it, another 10% capacity. So we're pretty much done with that as well. Now I think it's time to look at the support battalions, what we're going to have. I want to conserve my manpower as much as possible, so I definitely want field hospitals. So let's start researching that. Another thing that we need is the military police to keep the areas that we occupy pacified. Army innovation is done. Can we do Anschluss? We can, therefore we will do Anschluss. And I'm also really keen on building the maintenance company, which will increase our reliability of our weapons. And I like having a high reliability on our weapons, which means they will not break as often. And that literally means we have to produce less of them. Quality above quantity in this case. Our first cavalry division is also done. I'm just gonna make them like this. You're gonna be assigned to that as well. And you're gonna make them garrison areas. Here, 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 and here. Pretty much all our coastline. They're gonna have a field marshal as well. And they're gonna have one with a defensive doctrine, because they are also defending against invasions. They are really important, because there will be coming a lot of invasions towards us eventually, and we want to be prepared for that. Now, this army might as well get a field marshal, and it has an offensive doctrine, so sure, let's get that guy. We want to be offensive. And the offensive doctrine is pretty good. It reduces the own combat width. It means we can get more men in a tinier place. We can modify our government once again. And there are a couple of things that we could go for. Higher mobilization law. I don't think we need a political advisor, nor material designer or tank designer. I think we're gonna go with an army drill guy. Faster division training, which means we can push our divisions faster as long as we can produce enough equipment. And I think we will be moving towards producing enough equipment soon. So we can go for construction 3. We have a bonus to it, even though it's quite ahead of time. It can be doable, but it's only for factory repair speed, and we don't have any factories that need to be repaired anytime soon. So we're not going for that either. We're going to just go with the support battalions, and I'm going to go with the military police. In the meantime, our army experience is slowly growing, and eventually we'll have more than enough army experience to make really, really good panzer tanks. We're gonna make variants out of them, but we're not gonna bother with that in the beginning. This army experience is for modifying our existing templates. So we did the Anschluss. Repeated uprisings in Austria clearly show that the people there long to be united with our Reich. It is now time to take action and allow the will of the people to be made manifest. How can anyone say that Austria is not German? We will gain some cores, which is important because that means we get full manpower from it. We annex Austria, gain political power, and world tension rises a little bit, but it's been dropping again for quite some time, so that's fine. After a successful coup d'etat by the local Nazi party in Vienna, German troops have crossed the Austrian border and taken control of the country. No fighting has been reported, and the German soldiers were greeted by cheering crowds in the cities. In a speech before a massive crowd at the Heldenplatz in Vienna, Hitler announced that the Anschluss of Austria, annexing the country in Germany. The oldest eastern province of the German people shall be, from this point on, the newest bastion of the German Reich. Welcome to the Reich. Alright, new focus. So, we can go and assert our eastern claims, but I think that's way too early. I'd rather demand Slovenia or Sudetenland, but we need more men for that. So instead, we're just gonna focus on getting our research slot once again. And up next is the treaty with the USSR. If they approve, we will get a reduced ahead of time penalty by 100%, or give a 50% research bonus if not ahead of time. Valid for the next research of these technology, Panzerkampfwagen 3, which is the first level of the medium tank. Also, it will give us 2 times a research bonus for armor technology. Really good. And let's keep moving forward. When we have some extra free military factories, then I think we need to put them onto our towed artillery, because we are suffering from some lack of those mostly. Maybe not full 5, not more than 5 though, because we definitely need more support equipment, since we are going to add a couple of extra support brigades to our divisions. But look at that, we are producing quite a lot of infantry equipment. Well, then again, we just captured a lot of infantry equipment as well from the Austrians. The Hindenburg disaster unfortunately happened. The ode to humanity. But look at that, we are filling up quite nicely with our infantry equipment and all those good things. And therefore I'm really happy that we have Wilhelm Keitel, the division training time modifier. Just faster troops, faster getting the troops that we need and we want. Because definitely we want more troops. So yeah, it's mainly a problem with towed artillery at the moment. But we have increased the production of that, so we are producing more of it. And after the treaty with the USSR, we can go for army innovations too, which will give us a more research bonus to the panzer wagons and such, but I don't think it's necessary. What we do want is to modify our government once again, and we can go with a tank designer. So when we start researching one of our tanks, we get the bonuses out of it. And also a research time bonus, and I think I want that. So we have 3 options. A heavy tank designer for more armor and hard attack. A mobile tank designer for max speed and higher reliability. Or a general tank designer for reliability and soft attack. So I'm gonna go with the Henschel because it has higher reliability and speed. And since we're going with medium tanks, I think in other places we are already good. So just focus on that. And should the treaty with the USSR go through, then we will be able to get the Panzerkampfwagen 3 quite soon, which is the first level of medium tank again. Now with that, we can decide to start building some medium tanks to at least have some in the stockpile so that we can get the training done and stuff like that. But we'll see how that will work. Emilia Earhart actually survived this time. Good for her. But this is of course dependent in if the Soviets agree. They might disagree. Usually they do agree though. It is a little bit slow with Ethiopia. And we can now also demand Sudetenland and Slovenia. And I think we're gonna go with that first. First of all, I want to demand Slovenia. It is a part of Yugoslavia and I want it. I want to have whole of Yugoslavia actually. That's a lot of extra factories we can get. But that's all gonna be in the next episode. Until then, thank you guys for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.